Are you in your 20s and looking to build wealth while raising a family? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be going over money moves that can set you and your family up for a prosperous future and create generational wealth. I'm Curtis Rylant, and this is my exact situation. My wife and I met when we were in high school. That's when we started dating. We graduated high school together, we went to college together, we graduated college together, and then we got married. We were 22 years old, and we were super young. Just now starting out in our careers, and we knew we wanted to build a future, a bright, prosperous future financially, so that we could be set up forever and our kids could be set up. Well, now that we have kids, our mentality has shifted even more to where we want to provide more and more in a better future for them. We want to be able to provide. We don't want to have to hold back in the future. We don't want to have to not be able to afford things for them. We don't want to have to not be able to send them to college. We don't want to have to not be able to leave something behind when we are gone. And so this is a very important conversation and topic for young people, young couples, young families, or even if you're by yourself and your spouse isn't with you right now. This is important because it's a mind shift. It's a mind shift on your finances. What are you actually building for? What do you want to build for? Your kids should be enough. Your kids should be important enough so that you do want to have a prosperous future. And if you don't have kids yet, that's okay. You and your wife or you and your spouse or just you can build a prosperous future and set your family up for generations to come, creating generational wealth. Most people don't tell you this, but when you become a husband, especially at a young age, straight out of college or maybe straight out of high school, whatever it is, if you're a young husband, most people don't talk about this, but there's actually a lot of pressure that builds on yourself. And men, we don't really talk about it that much, and we're not really open with it that much because when you're a man, typically, you are the breadwinner. I'm not saying all the time, but typically you are the breadwinner, or you're expected to provide even more to a family or to your wife. That's just an expectation society has created. It's shifted some now, but it's still a thing. So people don't talk about that. So there's all this pressure when you first start getting out of college or when you're first starting your job, you might not be making that much. And if you're not making that much, the bills pile up. Or maybe you have debt that you need to pay off, or you still want to provide for your wife. You still want to have nice things. And so people fall in this trap of let's just go into debt and we'll pay it off. That is a horrible, horrible way to actually start out your marriage. To start out as a young couple or just a young person in general is to go into debt and have to pay that off for a long time. People don't talk about that, but there's a ton of pressure on a man, on a male to be able to provide. So if you're not making a ton of money to begin with, and maybe the years are slow and you're not getting your raises, you're not getting promotions, and you're just in a bad situation all around, it's going to be very hard mentally and financially to be able to provide the best that you can because you feel like you are trapped. Well, that's where investing, that's where building wealth comes in, is it's a cheat code. It's literally a way that you can make money on your money without having to work more, without having to go and actually physically or trade your time for money, because your money is going to be growing without you actually touching it. You just invest, you just put the money in, and it grows and grows and grows. And over time, that feeling, that pressure where I have to make more money, I have to do this, it starts separating that from you, because now you are getting ahead. Now you are setting yourself up for the future. Now your family is now going to be set up for the future, especially when you're older. But even right now, you start feeling that pressure get lifted off of your shoulders. And so the first thing you need to do is create a budget, because like I said, most people, they might not be making a ton of money when they're young, but if you're not making a ton of money and you can't invest a ton of money right up front, the way that you can save money or make money is by making sure you're tracking your income and your expenses. You want that margin between your income coming in and your expenses you're paying to be as big as possible. So you need to figure out the expenses that are just eating away your income that you don't actually need. It's a want, and you need to try to get rid of those. Try to limit those as much as possible so that you can't have a massive margin, meaning that you have more disposable income and you can invest more for your future and more for your family. So then you take that disposable income, you take that margin, and now you can start investing for your family, start investing for your kids. You can invest in a Roth IRA, make sure you're maxing out your 401k for your work, getting your match. But yeah, then you get a Roth IRA so that you can build tax-free for you and your spouse. And then also you want to maybe set your kid up with a 529 plan. If you think that there's any chance that they can go to college, a 529 plan is actually a very, very good option because it'll pay for all their college and expenses. And the good thing about this now is that the IRA has just changed some laws around 529s, and you can actually now roll up to $35,000 into a Roth IRA. And so your kid, if you start investing $100 a month for 18 years, will have like $65,000 in their 529 plan. $35,000 of that can now go into a Roth IRA, meaning that when they're 18, they would have $35,000 in a Roth IRA. If they never touch that, never invest a single penny, they will have over $2.5 million when they retire. So that means it's like you're gifting them $2.5 million. They just have to wait and let it sit in an account. That's amazing. That is amazing. And maybe you say, well, what if they never touch it? Well, if they don't touch it, they can then just give that to their kids or give that to their spouse. You're creating generational wealth. It's not meant just for the next generation. It means that over time, generation after generation after generation will benefit from a decision that you're making. And this could all be from $100 a month. A single $100 a month for the next 18 years could give your kids over $65,000 for their 529, for their education. And if they don't use it all, they can just roll it into a Roth IRA based on the new laws that were just put into effect in 2024. And so it's something that's super simple. Invest in your Roth, invest in a 529 for your kids, invest in a 401k because it's free money from your work. These kind of things are what make people and separate them to where they can be prosperous in the future. They can start investing now, and it really sets their whole family up. And they can do this for the low amount of money because they are young and time is on their side. The faster you start, the more time your money's in the market, the bigger that investment will grow like a snowball rolling down a hill. And if you don't know how to budget, if you do not know how to budget, I'm going to put a video right here so that you can actually go and sit down maybe with your spouse, or maybe you can't sit down with her right now or him right now, then sit down and just look at it. Look at the budget and figure out how it works so that you can explain it to your spouse or significant other when you do have the time to sit down. This is a 50-30-20 budget rule, meaning that 50% of your income is going to go towards your needs. Your needs are going to be everything from your rent, so your housing, your transportation, your food, all that stuff that you need to survive. Then you're going to have 30% to spend on your wants. Well, if you want to get ahead in the future, you're going to want to invest more money. So that number can actually go down, but only 30% can go towards your wants that you actually want every single month. And so that's going to be things like your vacations, your clothing, your watches, your jewelry, your eating out, all that kind of stuff. That's 30%. And then 20% of your income should be going strictly towards investments like your Roth, your 401k, your 529 plan for your kids, all that stuff. That's a 50-30-20 budget. If you don't know what that is, go watch that video. And also, I'm going to leave a link down below. In this link, you're just going to put your name, put your email, and I will send you a budget guide explaining what a budget is, all the terms, how to calculate one, and even an example inside of this budget guide so that you can just plug your numbers in as if you were in that same situation, and you can actually get the exact numbers for your 50-30-20 budget. It's that simple, and it will set you up because then you are money aware. You're financially aware of where every single dollar is going every single month. So now that you know your budget, you know your income, you know your expenses, and now you're investing in those different investment types, you need to get rid of debt. Debt, if you have high interest debt, that should be the first thing that you knock out. You don't need to invest yet because your money needs to beat that money in the market. So let's just look at an example. If you have 25% interest on a credit card, 25% on a credit card, but you can get 10% in the market, which one's bigger? 25% is bigger, meaning that you need to take that money that you were able to invest in the market and just throw it at the credit card, throw it at your high interest debt because your money's not beating it. Now, let's look at a different one. Say I have subsidized or unsubsidized government loans from my student loans. Well, if that's a 3% or 4%, then I can beat that in the market and get a 10 to 12% return. So it's actually smarter to pay that off while also investing money. So you need to look at the interest rates and figure out which one's bigger and which one actually needs, to get paid off faster. Investments work really good when you have a longer time in the market. And so that's what I'm saying. You need to look at that and say, which one's bigger or which one would benefit me more? Because if you're putting all your money into the market, but you're having to pay in 25, 30% interest, you're losing. But if it's the opposite and your investment can actually get more than what you're having to pay in, then it's actually beneficial to start investing as soon as possible so that you can have longer time in the market, and that will ultimately grow your investments faster and faster. So get out of debt. That's what you need to do. Get out of debt. And then when you are out of debt, stay out of debt. Don't go back into getting an auto loan and paying a ton of money for this car because it's brand new and it smells nice and it looks nice. Like when you're young, I know status matters. You want to look good in front of your peers, but one of the best things to actually have a prosperous future financially is don't look at those things. Don't care about those things. You don't need a Rolex on your wrist. I don't care. But I know that I have that money in the bank or I have an investment account that is going to grow to $7.8 million by the time I retire. I know that for a fact. I don't care about your super crazy car and your crazy low mileage on it. Like I don't care because my car, I have a emergency fund that if my car breaks down, I can pay for it cash and I don't have to send money to the bank every single month. That money actually goes towards an investment account and makes money for me instead of compound interest working against me. And so those are the things I'm talking about. Do not go into debt. Do not fall into the everyday American lifestyle. People look at me, so I need to look good. I need to look fancy. I need to have the cars. I need to have the big house that I can't afford. I need to have all these different things, the clothing, the shoes. I need to have all this jewelry. I need to look good, diamonds and gold. People really don't care. And if you're doing it just to impress people, you're not doing it for your family. You're not doing it for the right reasons. Do it for your family. Look down at your kid. Look down at your spouse. What would you do to set them up for your future financially? What would you do if you were 45 and being, hey, let's go to Hawaii. Everyone, let's go. And I can just pay for it straight cash. Those are the things that you sacrifice later in life for things now so that you can impress people that really don't care about you and are probably not loving that you're actually being successful, not loving that you can grow and be prosperous with your family. A lot of people get jealous. They have jealous syndrome. If you start doing something that's making you successful or making yourself look good, people will actually close the door on you because they don't like that. So make sure you are following these steps so that you can have a prosperous future and set yourself up financially for you, your spouse, and your kids. And then since you're young, you have more energy than people that are older. So the next best thing is set yourself up for some side hustles. I don't know what that is. Maybe you and the wife and the kid go out and you get in your car and you go do DoorDash or Uber and you make a little bit of money on the side. Maybe you go to thrift stores and stuff, which I've done personally, thrift stores and flea markets and Goodwill and do all these different places. And you just take $100 and you say, let's try to make more money off of this money. And so you just go in, you buy something that's cheap, you do your research on eBay or on Google, how much it'll sell for on Facebook Marketplace. You look that up, figure out, hey, this jacket is worth, $70. I just bought it for 10 at Goodwill and now I can flip it and make, the $60 margin. You can do that. It's really easy to do. It's kind of fun. It's like a treasure hunt. Me and my wife have done that in the past. It's really fun. You can make extra money. Maybe you want to bake stuff for a community. My wife currently is baking sourdough. So you can bake sourdough and then sell that. It makes a actually decent amount every single month as long as she's staying consistent. You can do that. You can build stuff on the internet. You can sell digital products. You can do Etsy. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can do YouTube. You can do Instagram. I know people making thousands and thousands and even up to millions of dollars on YouTube through AdSense that then drives traffic to their actual business that they have on a website, or they have affiliate links, or they have all these different things. And you can build this straight from your couch. There's so many different ways that you can build a side hustle for extra income that you can then use to either pay off your debt or start investing and set your family up for success. And that's it. If you're a young couple, if you're a young spouse, if you're a young male, if you're a young dad, these are the things that you need to do in order to actually set yourself up. It's really not that complicated. You need to get out of debt. You need to build a budget. You need to know your income and expenses. You need to get out of debt, and you need to start investing. Roth IRAs, 401ks, 529 plans. Do all this kind of stuff. If you don't know how to do that, we'll be on the lookout because I'm going to be having an investment guide that actually will walk you through step by step how to do this. But make sure you are investing as soon as possible. Get that income up. If you can't get a raise or a promotion from your job, build side hustles that will then make you more money. It's very simple. You need to have a mentality that your family comes first. You're doing it for your family. I know it's a lot of pressure to go out and get money. I know it is financially. It's just a system that puts a lot of pressure on people to be able to afford and make things for their family. But that's the thing. You want to be able to provide for your family. When you look at your son, knowing that you are setting yourself up so that he can have a better future. You're setting yourself up so that he is set for life. You're setting yourself up so that your spouse, your wife is set up for life. Even if you are not here, your investments can continue to grow for them. And so that's what I'm talking about. Make sure you start investing fast and young and as soon as possible. Get out of debt. Build a budget, know your income, know your expenses, which will then allow you to have more cash flow, more disposable income so that you can be able to provide more and more for your family. And I want to know, what are ways that you are saving money? What are ways that you're building wealth in your 20s? Leave that in the comment. Tips that other people can use and see so that you can help them build wealth for their family so that their family's prosperous as well. Leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe, guys, for future content. And make sure you click that link below. Just put your name in, put your email, and I will send you a budget guide with terms and what a budget actually is and how to do it, and then an example so that you can read that, look over it, and build your own to set yourself up for the future. Be on the lookout for future videos, guys. Hit that icon that will alert you. And remember, you can do all things through him that give you strength. Peace.